Nasema it is the electrolysis. So it is electrolysis. Electrolysis. Sorry for those who do not understand the meaning of electrolysis. Sijasema hiyo kwa sababu naamini tayari unaijua. Ndio maana mimi nikajikita kwenye hiki kitu ambako kinawasumbua zaidi wanafunzi. Ndio maana nikaamua kuzungumzia hiki kitu. So vitu vingine nakupa task, nenda kafuatilie uje uwe vizuri zaidi. So electrolysis of copper 2 sulfate solution. So it is electrolysis of copper 2 sulfate solution by using. So here is by using the carbon electrodes. So by using carbon electrodes. By using carbon electrodes. So this is what we are going to speak about. Na today I will be fast. Nitakuwa kidogo niko fast kwa sababu unajua kipindi kilichopita nilikueleza kidogo kidogo, nikaana kwenda nawe kidogo kidogo. So you got a lot of concepts. So hapa nafikiri we will be just joining the concepts na utanielewa kwamba pale tulifanyaje, tukafanyaje. Mambo yakawa vizuri. So mara boom, natarajia kuona wanafunzi wangu ambao wananitazama na I want you to be the best chemistry student. Natamani uwe the best chemistry student kwa sababu nakufundisha vitu ambavyo ni vya muhimu na ukivishika I assure you kwamba utakutana navyo kwenye mitihani yako na you'll be safe. Utakuwa umefaulu and I wish uweze kufanya vizuri. So electrolysis of copper 2 sulfate solution by using the carbon electrodes. Nafikiri tumeshayazungumza mambo ya ions formation. Kwanza kitu cha kwanza tusemee mambo ya ions gani zitapatikana kutoka kwenye copper sulfate solution. Zinajulikana, tushazungumza tayari kwamba you'll be having the ions that you have. Tutakuwa tuna copper ions, hiyo inaeleweka. And where is it from? I think you understand because we had a look in the previous session. But the other thing it is the sulfate ion. Mene yanajulikana yamepatikana wapi, but the other thing is the hydrogen ions. Lakini pia tutakuwa tuna jamaa anaitwa hydroxyl ions. Lakini electrode gani tumemtumia? Electrode tulianaye sasa hivi jamaa amebadilika. Something that's different from tuliyekuwa tunamzungumza kipindi kilichopita. So the electrode here we have is carbon electrode. So it is carbon electrode. Na tunaposema carbon electrode tunamaanisha kwamba upande wa cathode we be having carbon. So it is carbon cathode. Alafu from the anode tutakuwa tuna carbon anode. So it's carbon anode. So we have the carbon at the cathode and we have the carbon at anode. So here is very simple concepts. Sasa nataka nikufundishe nikiwa nakupa kama nikwambia maswali yapi yanakuja mara nyingi kwenye hii kitu ambayo iko hapa. Which questions mostly come from this concept? Maswali ambayo utaulizwa hapa. Maswali ambayo utakuuliza hapa. Swali la kwanza ambalo utaulizwa. Unaweza kuulizwa the ions formed. Ions zipi zimekuwa formed? Nimekwambia ni huyo na yule na yule na yule na yule tumemaliza. Electrode gani iliyotumika hapo? Nimekwambia tayari is here, it's carbon electrode. Lakini swali lingine ambalo unaweza kuulizwa, anaweza kukuuliza akasema je, ile rangi ya blue ya copper sulfate solution at the end of the reaction, je, itakuwepo au itakuwa imepotea? Kumbuka in the previous session, ukitaka unaelewa vizuri, go back to the previous session, utaelewa vizuri sana. Je, rangi ya blue itaendelea au itafifia? Lakini the other thing ambayo unaweza kuulizwa is about the mass. Utaulizwa the mass of cathode increases or decreases, the mass of anode increases or decreases. So utakutana na maswali namna hiyo. Lakini utaulizwa swali lingine la msingi, the cathodic reaction and the anodic reaction. So hiyo ndio kama msingi wa maswali ambayo utakutana nayo from this thing. Au sometimes unaweza kuulizwa swali, what's the difference? Ukatoa difference kuambiwa give labda 4 differences between electrolysis of copper sulfate solution by using copper electrodes ambayo tumezungumza in the previous session, na hii ukaambiwa kwa kutumia carbon electrodes. Sasa from here I think you understand. So we move on together so that we finish this example. So tunataka tuangalie kwamba ions migration zake zinakuwaje. I think you understand. Sihitaji kuandika tena kwa sababu the previous session nilikwambia kwamba copper ions and hydrogen ions will migrate to the cathode, but this one will migrate to the anode. Lakini kipindi kilichopita tukasema kwamba huyu na huyu alikuwa preferentially discharged na sio huyu. Sababu tulisema ni ipi? It's because this one it's below hydrogen in electrochemical series. Lakini huyu na huyu walipoenda kwenye anode, none of them was preferential discharged. Tukasema na sababu kabisa. Tukasema ni kwa sababu copper anakuwa kuna namna tu because of the nature of electrode. The nature of electrode, that is the copper from the anode, is not allowing sulfate or hydroxyl ions to be preferentially discharged, but it starts to ionize. It starts ionizing, alafu anapo ionize mwisho wa siku anakupa product ambayo anakuwa ni is copper 2 ions ambayo anakuwa formed at the product. Kwa hiyo maana yake here now let's see what is going to happen. Tuanze na moja kwa moja tuangalie kwenye cathode. So I think you know that copper, that is the positive charge, and this one is positive charge, they all migrate to the cathode. Nazungumzia hii point hapa. So this and this, they will migrate to the cathode. Wakienda kwenye cathode, I think you understand that copper will be preferentially discharged. The reason is because it is lower in electrochemical series. So the cathodic reaction, here I'm writing for you. So the cathodic reaction, how is going to be? The cathodic reaction. So after copper will be, we agree that copper will be preferentially discharged. So after agreeing with this, so copper will be preferentially discharged. So its equation becomes copper with 2 positive charge, that's aqueous, and yeah, here we obtain copper that is solid and plus 2 electrons. So it's going to be plus 2, no, it's minus 2 electrons. It's minus 2 electrons. So this is what happens from the cathode. So after this, the other reaction, it is the anodic reaction. So let's see the anodic reaction. So the anodic reaction, from the anodic reaction, I think you know that sulfate ions and hydroxyl ion will migrate to the anode. But the difference between this session and the previous session, it's very simple. It is coming from the anodic reaction. I think you remember the anodic reaction from the previous session. Now we are in the anodic reaction from this session that we are talking about. If sulfate and hydroxyl ion, this one and this one, they go together to the anode. After reaching there, because from the anode, the nature of electrode is carbon. So it's allowing one of them will be preferentially discharged because because of the position in electrochemical series. And I think you understand that hydroxyl ions, it is lower in electrochemical series as compared to the sulfate ion. So because this one, it is lower in electrochemical series, so hydroxyl ion will be preferentially discharged. What happens? You'll be having this. You'll be having, so I'm giving us a general reaction. A general reaction. You have to take it as a general reaction. That is going to be the 4 OH ions, then is going to be minus 4 electrons, then we'll be having 2 moles of water, then plus oxygen. Yes, that is G, that is L, that means liquid, and this is aqueous. So this is what happens from the anode. So you'll be having 4 OH ions, then plus minus 4 electrons, then we obtain the 2 H2O, then plus O2. So this one, it is very simple. I think you can just do it as it is. Let me maybe say something here. You can write this equation as copper 2 positive charge, that's aqueous, then plus 2 electrons, then we obtain the copper that is solid. So this one is the same as this one, but also here these electrons you can write this way, which becomes positive. So it becomes positive, while here it's negative. So this is the only difference from the previous session and this session. So here we have this equation from the anode, but from the previous session we had the copper that was ionizing to obtain the copper that is having a positive charge. So that one is very simple. And after knowing this, now let's come to the questions that we were talking about. For those who do not understand where this is coming from, where this 4 OH coming from, it's very simple. You can just have, we are starting this equation by having OH that's having a negative minus 1 electron, then we obtain the OH. It's the OH. So that's number 1. Number 2, it proceeds 4 times. So OH minus electron, then we obtain the OH, another OH. Then we'll be having OH, another OH. Then it proceeds with 1 electron, we obtain OH. And the other one, it is the OH with a negative charge. So it is 1 electron, and we obtain another OH. After combining these equations, after combining these equations. So after combining these, you will realize that you'll be having the 4 OH ions, and here it is 4 electrons, and here it is the 2 moles of water and oxygen gas, so of which it is very simple. So this is what happens after from this equation. So it is this that we are talking about. So it's very simple. So the other questions, the questions that I mentioned to you earlier is the blue color. Will the blue color continue or it fades away? The answer is very simple. The blue color will fade away. The blue color, in other words, we can say the blue color will disappear. The blue color will disappear. Why it disappears? Because at the end, the products that we obtain from the cathode, from the anode, there is no copper ions that's responsible for the blue color formation. So because there is no formation of the copper ions that is responsible for the blue color formation, then it means the blue color, after the end of this reaction, the blue color will fade away. That's it is contrary to what we were talking about in the previous session. In the previous session, we say the blue color will proceed, but here in this session, the blue color will not proceed, just because there is no formation of copper ions at the end of this reaction. So another question that they can ask you is the mass. Is the mass of cathode increase or decrease? The mass of anode increase or decrease? The answer is the mass of anode. The mass of anode remains the same. There will be no change related to the mass of anode because it's not ionizing, so it remains as it is. And the mass of cathode will increase because there will be the deposition of copper. So the deposition of copper will make its mass to increase, but the mass from the anode, it remains as it is. So there will be no ionization of the copper because we do not have the copper electrodes, but we are having the carbon electrode. So I think you have something and you have got something that's very simple. Let's meet in the next session. Na kukaribisha sana. Mimi lengo langu ni kuhakikisha mwanafunzi ambaye utakuwa unanisikiliza unafuatilia vitu hivi kwa makini. I want to make you the best chemistry student. Nataka nikufanye uwe ni mwanafunzi bora wa chemistry na you will enjoy. Karibu endelea kutufuatilia. Karibu tukutane kwenye kipindi kijacho. I appreciate you.